Zach with Web3 Reviews. Thank you for being with us. Today, it is Tuesday, January 14th, and we're going to be talking about the crypto market. Let's go.
Remember that none of this is financial advice.
Bitcoin is getting volatile. You know, when the big boys get volatile, things are going to be looking good. Yesterday, we were down at 90K. We might have even gone below 90K, down to 89. Everything was in the red. XRP went down to $2.38. Flare was down to 2.3 cents. Songbird was beneath 0.8 of a penny. You can't make this stuff up. If you were sidelined, it was a great buying opportunity. Bitcoin's already jumped 10%. For Bitcoin, that's huge. You go from 89K back up to 98. If you're somebody like Michael Saylor, that type of swing makes you feel good, man. I don't know how he feels if he's just got a team that's constantly helping him out, like a UFC fighter who's cutting weight. That's how Michael Saylor's life is. He's just trying to diamond hand, but the best he can do is have a team of people around him, like kind of coaching him through diamond handing. You'd hope that's not the case. We get stories of the US government who's about to be selling Bitcoin. Remember when Germany sold all their Bitcoin at 55K? Yeah, governments, they're not diamond hand, man. They're paper hand. They like to get their paper money. XRP, $2.57. We hit $2.60 this morning. At some point, we're going to keep going and not look back. We have been stalled out in this $2 range for quite some time. We've been in this range for over a month, and that's positive. If you look at this 1 month chart, we have some lows and we've been holding some highs. I don't know how long we're going to sit in this $2 range. Be bouncing between $2.30, $2.25, back up to $2.75. Here we go. The Dark Defender, one of my favorite TA people in the XRP space. He says XRP has almost completed the throwback after breaking the triangle upwards. Next is an all-time high. Cheers. Chad Steingraber says, Trump is going to publicly endorse Ripple, the greatest American crypto company in the world, quote unquote. It's one of the greatest companies in the world. So it's being said that all the elements are now taken by the biggest companies on earth. Google has earth, Apple has air, Amazon has fire, and Ripple has water. It's pretty powerful shit. Think about that. Ripple has always said that they're going to be the Amazon of payments. Once they master that and they're the go-to place for cross-border payments, I expect to see us move on. Not move on from cross-border payments, that'll always be a bread and butter, but move on and expand our scope to other use cases. Forex, derivatives, real-world assets, DeFi, you name it. I want to see the day when banks are offering people a better APR than they currently do. I mean, you put your money in a savings account in a bank, what are they offering you? Anywhere from 1 to 2.5% APR? In DeFi, that's atrocious. If I'm going to be lending a bank my XRP, they better be giving me a nice interest rate back. Looking at a Nexo. Nexo was offering good returns, and they offered you the ability to take loans too. Once we get real companies in the USA offering services like Nexo, I think that'll be a big moment. And I wonder how long it'll take when Trump walks into office for the first bank to open up their crypto wallets and say, hey, we're taking deposits. And who's going to be storing this for them? Are we going to trust a bank who doesn't have the last 12 years of experience storing crypto to store your crypto assets? Is it going to be insured like your cash? We're talking about going into your banking website and seeing your value of money right there. It'd be cool to be able to do that with your crypto, I think. Now, I know it goes against a little bit of crypto to say, oh, I want the banks to store it. But that's always been people's problem with Ripple XRP, is that those guys were the banker's coin who were working with institutions. While Bitcoin was about being down with the banks, Brad Garlinghouse was going on TV saying before it's down with the banks, it'll literally be out with the tanks. The banks aren't going away. They have the money to fight the wars. That's what war comes down to. Who has the money? And if you look at World War I, what happened to England, who used to be the world's reserve currency, the British pound, is they spent all of their gold reserves fighting World War I. After all that, the rest of the world said, dude, we can't use your money anymore. It's not backed by shit. It took another 14 years after World War I for USA's dollar to be chosen because we were the strongest option after World War II. It's been a good 80 years since then. World reserve currencies don't last forever. They last anywhere from 70 to 120 years. That's been the trajectory they've been on for the last 5 to 6 hands. France, Germany, UK, USA. Are we going to just jump to another country's dollar and say, okay, now you guys are the superpower? Are we going to give it back to the US and say, hey, you guys did such a good job with your position of power. Now you guys are in a seat again where you guys can do it. You guys got your money right. You guys can have it back. I think it's going to be trustless. And that's something we've been hearing the big players talk about, the Christine Lagardes of the world. We're going to have an asset that everyone can take part in. There's not going to be any walled gardens. You're going to be able to flip in and out of this asset instantly and seamlessly. Name another asset you could flip into and out of so easily. And if you say XLM, okay. Jed McCaleb, Jed the Fed, he had his hand in a lot of pies. And you got to wonder why he was the only person who wasn't sued in that SEC lawsuit. Is it because he's a part of the team? David Schwartz, he worked for the NSA in the 1980s. He actually made a patent on cryptography in the 1980s while working at the NSA. It's been said that Bitcoin was the beta test coin, and it was a good test. That's what Brad Garlinghouse recently just said. Bitcoin was a good test. It served a good purpose. I think the same way a Ford Model T survives, Bitcoin will survive. I'm unsure how many people are still going to be running the network. When Bitcoin finally gets depegged as that #1 token by market cap and we see it fall to its true value, I'm unsure what it would be. I think in 10 to 20 years, Bitcoin might be a forgotten coin. And maybe I'm gonna get some hate for saying that. But if you don't serve a use case, then what is the point? How long can you go on with no use case? How long can you go on grasping at the straws of the Lightning Network? I love the idea of Bitcoin being a store of value, similar to gold. But in terms of technology, Bitcoin's not the one. Bitcoin is not the best technology on the market. Visa has a faster payment flow than Bitcoin. Now, XRP beats Visa if we're talking about outside the walled gardens. You can flip into XRP and send somebody the money and they can flip out damn fast. XRP competes with Visa. It's to my understanding that Visa and MasterCard both have partnerships with Ripple. We now know that Bank of America has 83 patents on the XRP technology. It makes sense why Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, and Chase Bank paid for the Ripple lawsuit. They paid the SEC, William Hinman and Jay Clayton, to bring this lawsuit on Ripple to try and bolster the Ethereum Foundation's chance to run the market themselves. And they did a shit job. You can only put so much makeup on a pig. Jamie Dimon's like a dirty pig farmer. But Jamie Dimon's out here being a shady motherfucker, trying to put makeup on his pig being Ethereum. Which that's the funniest part, right? You get these legacy figures like Jamie Dimon telling people that it's too scary to own Bitcoin and that nobody should own it. Meanwhile, he's literally funding the Ethereum Foundation. Crazy. And then paying US alphabet agencies to bring down lawsuits to try and bolster his own technology he's paying for while bringing down an American company. Ethereum is not an American crypto. I don't care how much badger dancing they do. You think the world financial institutions are gonna care that these guys badger dance? No one gives a shit, except for you. Brody wears a unicorn shirt. Everyone loses their mind saying he's so cool. I think that dude's a weirdo. I don't think he's changing shit. And you tell me he's gonna go to a meeting with the big financial institutions and somehow make a pitch to them that they're gonna wanna hear? It reminds me of SBF playing video games while taking meetings. Flare price still sitting pretty low. 2.3 cents for one flare. That's 100 times less than XRP. That's pretty crazy to think about. 100 times less than XRP. To think that at one point Flare was like 6 or 7 cents and XRP was 50 cents. It was a less than times 10 away. And once a month you were getting that Flare airdrop, which is pretty juicy, anywhere from 3 to 4% of your bag, depending on who's playing. I can't tell you what's gonna happen with Flare. I mean, it's all dependent on Hugo. You know, Hugo famously said that XRP would have no use case without Flare. It was all fun. But now that Flare is 100 times less than XRP, we really need XRP holders, Doge holders, Bitcoin holders to come and use the product. And we get Flare saying F assets isn't even gonna be a top 10 use case on Flare. I wanna see what the other 10 use cases are. People are growing impatient there. If you're in XRP, you've kind of built up this thick wall of patience. It's been 4 years since the Flare airdrop was announced to us. I haven't lost my patience yet. I think Hugo's gonna make it happen. Maybe Flare and Songbird are a next cycle thing, dude. You know, and that sucks to say. I don't know what they're gonna do this cycle. I really don't. I mean, we still have such a big sell pressure because of airdrops from Flare. Songbird, we got sell pressure there too. Who's selling and why? I don't know. You know, I have friends who have told me that they feel kind of tribalistic about places because they want their friends to succeed. I'm sorry to say that we're not all gonna make it. The Lamborghini only has 2 seats, the bus has 50. It's a part of the game, man. You're gonna at some point sell when your buddy says they're holding. I've already had friends text me they're selling XRP. I had a friend tell me they sold at $1.25. Is he kicking himself now? I don't know. Don't hear from him much. And that must tell you the answer right there. Because when you're kicking yourself, you kind of stay to yourself. No one wants to hear your sad tales of how you fucked up the casino, man. Crypto, stocks, it's the casino. There's a rapper I like named Joe Blow, and he had this famous bar. Said, I done gambled with my life, so it's a couple of dollars. And that's how I feel about this. You know, I've never been a 401k person. It's not my deal. I decided I was gonna go balls deep in crypto as far as I could. I was a retail worker. I did dishes at the Cheesecake Factory. And when they realized I could read and write, they gave me a knife and told me to read a menu and chop some fucking onions. That was the deal. That's how I got my start, man. I had a family member tell me about crypto. And we were both on that FOMO from the 2017, 2018 cycle. I had a coworker get rich and quit the retail space. Him and his whole church had bought Bitcoin back when it was like $100. I saw him one more time at like some bougie grocery store. He was doing great. He was chilling. I told myself I wanted that. I wanted that freedom to be able to quit my job if I chose to. In this work thing, man, you meet a lot of cats. And one thing that's for certain is if you don't take care of your body and your mind, what's it going to be worth when you do make it to the moon? You got to be able to take care of yourself. You got to be able to think clearly. We got to be grateful that we're here and able to do it today. Every day is that opportunity. You get to dollar cost average into crypto. I had a friend text me, is Songbird dead? And should he sell it for XRP? And I told him it's one of those scenarios where you can't sell it at a low like this. You know, like as much as you're sad about the project, you can't sell it at a low like this. And people saying, oh, we're being impatient, yada, yada. Other tokens are up on the 1 month. Songbird's down on the 1 month. Music is also down on the 1 month. These are the two low cap projects that I follow. I'm in film and Osme as well. We'll talk about those another time. Gala Film, Osme AI. Those are two low caps. When you play low caps, you should be playing small amounts of money, because if it hits a times 1,000, you did well. And if it goes to 0, you didn't hurt yourself too bad. You got to think of this almost like meme coins. We have meme coins, which are worth more than legit projects, which are low caps. Gala Music and Songbird. I had this buddy telling me that he had bought $200,000 of a low cap, and he was pissed. He was pissed at how the project was going. He had put 200K into a low cap, and he was pissed. Now, being somebody who has small amounts of money and a few low caps, Gala Music, Gala Film, Osme AI, and Songbird, I felt his pain for sure, but I didn't feel it at the level at which he felt. You know, it's like I had a paper cut and he was bleeding out. He's like, I need a fucking tourniquet. Do you guys fucking have one? And I'm like holding a napkin to my paper cut, like, yeah, dude, it sucks to be bleeding, man. This stings, you know? It's a different pain. With that being said, I kind of poked his bear. I sent him a picture of a Ferrari, which was only 120K. It was a 2003 Ferrari Spider with like 30,000 miles, man. And you could have gotten it for $1,800 a month or $130,000. And I said, isn't that crazy? Because like you put money into this and you lost it. You could have had a Ferrari, dude, in real life, not an NFT, a real life Ferrari. Sometimes when you're gambling, you forget what money is. And that sounds retarded, but I'm being serious. You're gambling. Say you hit it times 100. You take your $100, which turned into 10K. Instead of cashing out your 10K, you cash out your $100. Now you got 9,900 to go back and play. You've seen a bunch of tweets from people who are quote unquote in the trenches. Oh, that looks fun. You've heard about this meme coin from this joker. You've heard about this coin from this joker. You keep fucking playing. You never leave. It takes a lot to actually leave, to know when you're done. You guys have heard about the Dogecoin millionaire? This dude made $3 million playing Doge, and he refused to cash out any. He only makes 50K a year, like in the back of the house in the kitchen. He chose not to cash out. He could have easily been clearing 50K a year, tax-free, from an interest garnering account. When you don't have money and you're dollar cost averaging, you just skipped lunch so you could buy crypto. That's not easy. That's not easy at all. And you know what they say is the road to hell is easy and the road to heaven is hard. Skipping a meal so you could buy crypto, continuing to drive your beater car so you could buy more crypto. These are legendary moves. But you gotta make sure you buy the right crypto. Because what's it worth if you buy a fucking shitcoin and it goes to nothing? Zach with Web3 Reviews, thank you for being with us. I hope everybody goes on to make life-changing wealth. But you gotta know what you're gonna do with that wealth. You gotta have the ability to press sell. You gotta be ready. You gotta have a tax plan. You gotta have a fucking investment plan. Passive income plan. You know, if you think DeFi is gonna sustain you after a bull market, you're wrong. It's not. DeFi doesn't sustain people in big bear markets. DeFi eats you. You think you got something? Yeah. DeFi said, hey, why don't I give you this free token for what you got? And you can hold on to that free token and then you earn more free token. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and sell what you gave me. I've been fucked by DeFi a number of times. And there's always that sell pressure on these DeFi assets. Zach with Web3 Reviews. Thank you for being with us. Stay strong. Good times ahead. Until next time.